Afternoon, good to see everyone. Kind of give you an injury update on Wednesday, and a lot of this obviously will change by Saturday, but kind of give you an update. Stephen Griffin did practice. He has been limited, but we fully anticipate him being ready for the game. Brett Kendrick was limited. That'll be ongoing. So we'll see. He's limited right now, so we'll see how he progresses, but to his credit, keeps grinding it out and could get better by Saturday. Same thing with Marquez North. He did practice, limited, but continued to improve. And then probably the most positive story is Kyle Phillips. Kyle Phillips will practice today after going through some rehabilitation with his shoulder. It's very stable, it's very strong, so that's been a positive. So Kyle's going to practice today, and we'll see how it goes. Dylan Wiseman practiced yesterday, so that was a positive, and Dylan's a tough young man, so we fully anticipate him being ready to go. In terms of Alton Howard, as y'all are very well aware of, he's had concussion-like symptoms and many nagging injuries. However, he has been dismissed from the football team, and they are totally unrelated to his injuries. In terms of moving forward with Georgia, kind of our theme this week are kind of getting back to the basics, the fundamentals, the fine details of what it takes to play winning football. We've been talking to them all week about D&D, not down and distance, but discipline and details. And for us, it's our eye discipline. It's running our feet on contact. We know we're going to be challenged this week with two very, very special running backs coming in here. In understanding down and distance, we have to create big plays offensively because they're a very, very gifted, very skilled defense. So big plays are going to be critical, and then obviously defensively, we cannot give up big plays. But it's back to the basics, the fundamentals. We've worked very hard on that, and we'll continue to work on that throughout the course of the week. So I'll answer any questions you may have.
Dustin, then Steve.
I just wanted to follow up on Pig. I guess violation of team rules, and if
Correct.
so, what team rules? What did he violate?
Well, that's between the student athlete and ourselves, but was just made aware of that today.
Steve.
You had touched on the tackling problems the other day, and Jamsick mentioned it as well. When you're looking on the film, what is it that's going wrong? Is there one specific thing, just not being in the right position, just not getting a full grasp of the guys, or what's causing the tackling issues?
Yeah, there's been pretty much a common theme, and it's really the fundamental aspect. It's your base. You're supposed to shorten your stride, eyes on your thighs, run your feet. And there's a number of times where we had a wide base, we didn't run our feet, we were basically just staring. And so it gets back to the eye discipline and being aggressive and going and taking your shot. And then I think the other byproduct of the big plays was leveraging the football. Many times we did not leverage the football appropriately, and we allowed the ball to cut back. We didn't use the sideline as a 12th defender. So when we talk about, the discipline and the details, a lot goes into that.
Anybody else? Paul. Danny in the back.
But with Pick being out, North maybe not still 100%, what do you do with wide receiver position, especially with so many young guys? How do you try and manufacture some big plays with those guys, with some of the guys in the past that have been your big play guys not being there?
Yeah. Well, I will tell you this, the individuals that have been there have done an exceptional job. They've been remarkable in their preparation. They've done a great job at taking care, of their bodies. They're doing a very good job of leading the room. We talk about power of the position. They've done a great job with that. We're still teaching a youngster in Juwan Jennings, how to play wide receiver. But Josh Smith has done a very good job of mentoring and guiding. I thought Josh Smith probably had his best practice he's had all year. He finally looked 100% healthy. He looked smooth and out of his breaks, caught the ball exceptionally well. Josh Malone has been another individual who really has been a model of consistency. I've been so proud of him. He's really improved his game. We have to get him the football, but he's worked exceptionally hard. His effort, his blocking, his fundamentals, his details. He's done a great job. Jonathan Johnson has been limited. but he's getting back to being healthy again. So we've been limited. I think Von Pearson is starting to get back to regain his old form. He's done some good things in practice, and they're a prideful group. They take great pride in what's happened is they have to know a number of positions. So now, we just can't concentrate on knowing one position. A lot of these individuals have to know all 3 and 4 positions in our offense.
Danny in the back, then Jimmy Hines, then John Bryce.
Coach, obviously we have no idea which version of the Georgia passing game is going to show up. I know last week they struggled mightily, but it seems that their running game is far more advanced than their passing game. Is the game plan as simple as just loading up the box, trying to slow down Michelle and shoving those guys and make them throw the football?
You do have to stop the run first and foremost, but that's what makes them dangerous, is they can beat you with the play action pass. They can beat you with the throw game. And I think they've gone into each game very similar in terms of game plan like we do. Each game is a different game in and of itself. And so everything in football is about matchups. How do you match up against this individual? How do you match up against this team? How do you match up against this team? But they're very capable of throwing the football and beating you if we're not ready to go. They've done that a couple games where they've actually started the game off, and their passing game was a point of emphasis. You could see that in their play calling. I think Lambert manages the game. They have a very good offensive line that's very athletic, and some very, very good wideouts that can run and are very skilled. So we have to be able to do both, but anytime you can make an offense one-dimensional, that obviously helps.
Jimmy, then John, and then just a few more.
Butch, do you think the receivers maybe are practicing better than they're playing? That's one question. Secondly, where is Josh Dobbs with his fundamentals? Do you feel like he's where he needs to be?
I think Josh Dobbs continues to work on his fundamentals each and every day, and just like any position, you're always working to get better. You're always improving, and with a quarterback, you're touching the ball and you're handling the ball on every single snap. So, your details, your fundamentals are on display, and every snap is a learning experience in and of itself of playing quarterback. And there's so much that goes into quarterback, from the mental side of making quick decisions, split-second decisions. You look at it, you have 2 to 3 seconds to get in your drop, take the proper drop, get the proper depth, read a coverage, and make a split-second decision just like that, and then accuracy and fundamentals as well. So you're always working. In terms of the wide receivers, they've had good practices. They've done some good things in the games. But I think it's just an overall level of consistency in our throw game. And it's not, again, we talk about it every week, but it's not just one particular position group. It's all 11 individuals, winning their one-on-one matchups and executing and doing their jobs.
John, then Dustin, then Steve.
Coach, this game's the midway point of your 3rd season in Tennessee. Where do you think the program is, and where do you think it should be?
Well, I think we're way ahead in terms of them when we came here. The program is in much better shape. Obviously, you're gauged on wins and losses. I get that. But in terms of the overall character, the culture, the competitive component, day in and day out, and there's phases of building a football program. And, your first phase is the culture, getting the locker room right. The next one is your work capacity. Them understanding the importance of practice and the details of what it takes to play winning football games. And then the third thing is producing. It's executing those in games and being able to do that. And our players have done a very good job of maintaining a workmanlike approach. Sometimes you see results that maybe outside people don't see because you're gauged on wins. But I see tremendous progress. I'm proud of our kids. They keep working. You look at recruiting, and for me, I'm as impatient as anybody. I feel the pain of everyone involved. I'm responsible. I get that. I hurt with them, but I also see the progress, and I think that's really been evidenced by the number of people that have reached out to us from all levels of football when they watch our videos saying, "Stay the course. You're getting close. You're getting close. You're getting close." And Inky Johnson called me yesterday, and he said, "I'm going to remind you of one thing. Everybody wants the prize, but nobody wants the process." And we're going through that process right now. Nobody wants to hear it, but it is what it is. But I see remarkable strides being made each and every day.
Dustin and Steve and Brent and Heather to finish it.
So let me go back to Pete real quick. He was obviously a guy, you guys talked all last year about how much more mature he got and how much he'd come along. How disappointing is it to see after all the progress he made for it not to work out for him?
Well, you try to impact every young person that comes in your program, and it's all about choices and decisions, and it's unfortunate, but we have to continue to move forward, and we have very high standards and expectations in our football program.
Steve and Brent and Heather.
Justin, regarding North and Phillips, you had said Monday that you expected North to play. Phillips was out. Based on your update there, are they both questionable now for Saturday, or are you still, is there any?
As of right now, Steve, I would say we anticipate both of them playing Saturday. Marquez continues to get better now. How much does he progress till Saturday? I'll know a little bit more about Kyle after watching him in practice today, but they were very, very encouraged with what they saw with him yesterday. And again, Marquez was able to get some reps, but we'll know a little bit more. I know we're at the halfway point right now, but we'll know a little bit more here in the next 48 hours.
Thank you.
Brian.
But you said on the teleconference that the last 2 weeks have galvanized your football team.
Yep.
Can you talk specifically about that for one, and why you think that, and two, if Brett can't go at right tackle, kind of where are your options at the right tackle position?
Well, right now, you know, we're playing many positions in many units right now up front, and we kind of have a plan A and a plan B based on Brett and some other individuals. So, you know, we've done that all year. The great thing is we have some older players that have moved around, so that shouldn't be much of a change there. We practice that way, and that's why you practice that way for situations that occur over a long season. In terms of galvanizing our football team, I think you find out a lot about individuals when you face adversity and when you have to persevere and show resiliency. I'll go back to my senior quote: people in glass houses get dressed in the basement. And thought I'd get a little chuckle out of you this afternoon. So I know Heather liked that, so tweet that right away, please. But you know, you have to look at it and you see progress and you see individuals that want to do well. And I enjoy coming to work because I see the hungriness of our football team. And I can tell by the way they are in meetings, you know, the way they practice. But I think it's galvanized us. And when you suffer adversity and you have to persevere, two things can happen. It can galvanize you and bring you closer, or it can divide you. And I don't see any divide at all in this football team. Our older players have done a very good job, and our younger players have stepped up as well. And so I think we have great chemistry. We've fallen short, but we keep working. So I like what I see.
Heather.
Based on the offense that you guys run, is it hard to prepare for teams like Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama? And is it nice that all three of those games are back to back to back?
Well, it's nice from a schematical standpoint. It's very challenging from a physicality standpoint. You know, all these football teams are extremely physical. So you have to pick your spots in practice, and that's a challenge in and of itself, especially when you don't have the depth across the board that we're working to build yet. And that's one of the things, John, when you mentioned about where we're at as a program, we're still not there yet. I said it in August in terms of overall depth, you know, at 9 position groups. We're getting closer. Our players have done a good job of that, but we still need to continue to develop, and recruit. But I think the high level of physicality tends to take its toll, but it helps from a schematical standpoint, although each team that we've played has different nuances that challenge you in and of itself.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.